How did I get here? How did I get, well, not here, but we'll talk about that in a second. March 3rd, 2003, the buzzer sounded, the game was over. We lost by 1 point. I was sad, but I didn't cry. It was over, and I was numb. I remember sitting in the locker room, looking at my teammates. My coach gave us that last motivational pep talk. It's more than a game, fellas. And all I could think about was my dream was over. Now, back in the day when I was young, I was pretty good at basketball. That's just, I think the young people call those receipts. My AAU team won a national championship. I played in the AAU circuit with LeBron James against LeBron James, Chris Paul, and a lot of NBA folks. And we were really good. And there's another picture just for the receipts. Again, that's me. Vintage back in the day. I was number 11. And when we lost, the finality of that made me think about all the things that I wasn't able to accomplish. And I was sad. And I remember my dad being there, and he said something to me that is going to be the foundation of everything we talk about today, but it's going to be the foundation of your life. And I remember my dad meeting me outside of the locker room, putting his arm around me and saying, "Son, all of life is managing change. But success in life is staying encouraged through those changes." At 18, I really didn't understand exactly what that meant. I heard him, but I wasn't ready to receive it yet. And as I went through life and started going through change, it resonated a lot more. Anybody in here ever been through change? Put your hand up like that. A little bit. How many people in here manage other individuals that also go through change? How many people in here work in an industry that often goes through unexpected, unpredictable change? So, encouragement increases morale, and high morale boosts productivity. What I'm going to be talking about today, I'm going to say a lot of really cool things. Some of them are going to be funny. Some of them are going to be deep. Some of them are going to be metaphysical and philosophical. But the biggest thing that I'm going to talk about is increasing morale. Increasing morale, because you get more done when you feel better about what you're doing. So how can we help ourselves and help others do that? All of life is managing change. Everybody say change. I graduated from high school, change. Graduated from college, change. Less than a year later, got married to my college sweetheart, change. Anybody ever been married, ever seen somebody married, ever gone through a marriage? Marriages change. Then we got excited and decided that we wanted to have some babies. More change. And I don't know if you could tell, I'm a little energetic. I'm a little positive. I'm somebody that wants to get things done. So I decided I wanted to start a business when I was really young. And it didn't work out. And I ended up going bankrupt. Change. Then I went to jail for 5 years. Change. But not the change you're thinking about. I went to work at a jail. I got some of you. Some of you are like, oh my goodness, what have we done? I went to work at a jail, Guilford County Sheriff's Department. And it still to this day is the foundation of everything. In jail, I was paid to turn the lights off on people. You all are paid to keep the lights on. Isn't that something? But I hated working at the jail. Now, look, I hated it. Anybody ever been to jail, ever heard of jail, ever seen a jail, ever watched a show about jail? I hated it. I didn't want to work there. I was 22. I went to a good school. I went to NC State. I had dreams. Go Pack. We got some Pack in here? Go Pack. Yes, that's what the red is for. Don't worry. I had dreams that did not involve jail. And so for 2 years, I went to that job hating it. And about 2 years through, I remember coming into the office frustrated. You ever been frustrated at work? Maybe. Went to the office, so frustrated. I yelled out, "This job sucks." I didn't see my training officer in the corner there. And he kind of looked at me and he taught me something that in turn I want to teach you in different parts. And everybody called me Biz when I worked at the jail. He said, "Biz, there's no such thing as a job that sucks. Only employees with the wrong mindset." He said, "You can have no job or you can have a worse job. Be grateful." And from that moment, I started looking at jail differently. I started looking at it as a way to grow. If I can come into this environment with a smile and leave with a smile, I won the day. And sometimes we just have to win the day. And because of that, I was able to take it into different leadership training programs as a law enforcement officer. I was able to speak to the military, I was able to speak to hundreds of thousands of students all across this great nation, and also able to grace the TEDx stage twice. And through all of that, I learned one thing, and I want you all to repeat it after me. I learned impact. Everybody say impact. So I'm one of those speakers, just to let y'all know. I know we're just getting to know each other a little bit, and I know that this is very serious business, all the things that we're talking about. But I'm one of those speakers that the energy that I give, I want you to have. And I know it's early, and I know there's some different things, but just a little. I'm not asking you to stand on the chairs and hoot and holler and anything like that, but just a little smile, just a little bit. Not now, just later, all right? If you got me, say you got me. See, the better you receive this, the easier this will go and the faster this will go. And then we'll be able to get to it, all right? So everybody say impact. Okay, better. The I in impact stands for inspiration. Every letter in the word impact stands for a different word that allows us to boost morale and productivity through difficult transition and change. So the I in impact stands for inspiration. Everybody say inspiration. What are some things that inspires you? I just want you to think about it. You don't have to say it out loud, but I want you to think about some of the things that inspire you. What are the things that move you from bad energy to good energy? What are some things that have you looking forward to the next day? Just think about that. You don't have to say anything about it. While you're thinking about that, I want to tell you a story about 15-year-old Odell. Anybody have any teenagers? Ever been a teenager? Ever seen a teenager before? What do you think inspired 15-year-old Odell? It's okay. It's okay to say it. We can practice. What do you think? Money. Thank you. Right. Top 3 for sure. What else? Sports. Yes. Girls. Yes. All of those things. I said it. Money, sports, and girls. 15 years old was the first time I remember wanting to go up to a girl and talk to her. That was the first time I remember. There was a girl in my marketing class, and she was pretty, but she knew sports. And she had a vibe and a watch. I really wanted to talk to this girl, but I had not yet developed the words to articulate what I felt at the time. So every single day I would come up to her. Hey. Every day I just lost words until one day she was listening to music. Now, anybody in here listen to music? Y'all like music? Ever heard music before? Ever heard of music? Got it. I didn't listen to probably what a lot of people think a 15-year-old listened to at that time, especially a 15-year-old that looked like me. Because back in my day, and some of us back in our day, we didn't have the YouTube, we didn't have the Spotify, we didn't have all that. So we listened to whatever mom and dad allowed us to listen to. So I was listening to Motown, Marvin Gaye, Little Michael Jackson. I was listening to that stuff. This young lady was listening to her headphones. It didn't seem like she was listening to that stuff, but I tapped her on her shoulder and asked her what she was listening to. What she said next frightened me, but it excited me at the same time. She said, "Oh, I'm listening to that Ready to Die." What? Now, again, this is back in the day, before YouTube, before all this stuff. So I had heard of this gentleman, Biggie Smalls. I heard of him. I didn't know what he looked like, didn't know his music. So she said, "I'm listening to Ready to Die." Immediately, I'm like, "Ooh, I'm excited because, girl, you are dangerous." But also, I was frightened. Ready to Die? What are we talking about here? And she started seeing the confusion in my eyes, and she asked me this question, everyone. She said, "Well, Odell, do you want to borrow my CD?" What did I say? Oh, yeah. Because now I have a plan. I'm going to go home. I'm going to listen to the hippity hop. And then I'm going to learn the hippity hop, and I'm going to come back. We're going to come together. We're going to fall madly in love. That was my plan. Foolproof. So I take the CD home. Anybody ever heard Biggie before? Anybody? Show of hands. It's okay. Safe space. Okay, cool. Put your hands down. I'm more interested in this. How many of you never heard of Biggie before? Never heard Biggie's music. Okay, perfect. So I was you back then. Pop the CD in. I grew up underneath the church, underneath my grandma's thumb in the church. I remember my parents cursing 3 times. That's the house. That's the type of house that I grew up in. So I popped this CD in. My goodness. He broke 5 commandments in the first skit. It was ridiculous. But I loved it. I don't know what came over me. It was probably the young lady that I was going to go talk to. It was probably her. She inspired me, I think. But I started listening. I got loud. Again, how many of us have ever been a teenager, ever seen a teenager, ever heard of a teenager? I got loud. And I started thinking in my head, this is the place that I pay bills, so I can just do whatever I want. So I turned the music all the way up. The first time through, my mom said, "Hey, turn that music down." And I said, "Okay, yes, mother dear, I'm so sorry, my apologies." But my mom did not see what this girl looked like. So I continued playing the music. I started taking in the music. I was inspired by the music. And I got loud again. And I heard a voice, I thought it was my sister's voice in the room next to me, say, "Hey, shut that stuff off." Thought it was my sister. So I responded as if it was my sister. And I said, "You shut up. You don't tell me what to do." My sister didn't know I had transformed into a gangster that night. Who she think she was talking to? But it wasn't my sister. It was my mama. So y'all know what happened, right? Yeah, the gangster, he died that night. He's no more. So why do I tell you this? And why is this important for what we're talking about as far as boosting morale? What entertains you trains you. What entertains you trains you. And I'm looking at leaders. I'm looking at individuals that have lanyards. Leaders have lanyards. I always say that. Leaders have lanyards. You come to conferences like this, and people are looking at you. The energy that you bring into a room, that you bring into the office, has been trained by the stuff that you take in. Now, usually it's not as stated as it was in the story. Here's what usually happens. The stuff that we listen to, the stuff that we take in brings us on 1 to 2 ends of ourselves. There's the best version of us and there's the worst version of us. What we listen to, what we watch, the conversations we have make us lean one way or the other. So you as a leader have to think about, well, what inspires me and how am I inspiring other people? Because inspiration shifts morale and it sparks productivity. So what are you doing to do that for yourself? And then what does your team need to be inspired? Inspiration. The M in impact stands for motivation. Everybody say motivation. I want a show of hands. How many of you believe that you are a pretty motivated person? It's okay. Safe space. Pretty motivated person, right? I think I am. I think, again, if you have a lanyard, you probably are pretty motivated. How many of you believe that you're pretty good at motivating other people? 5 of you. That's great. Here's something I learned hard. First, I want to introduce you to my family. That's my wife, Sierra, going down from right to left. That's my daughter, Michaela, my daughter, Rain, and my son, William. Beautiful family, aren't they? Give my family a round of applause. Make me feel better. We look good. We look good. My family has taught me the greatest lesson about motivation, my kids specifically. For those of you that have kids, you'll know exactly what I'm saying as soon as I say it. Kids don't listen. They don't listen. And I don't know what level, if those of you that are in parenting, I don't know what level you're at. My oldest is 16, my youngest is 9. So I got all of that. They don't listen. And I thought that they would not listen like me. I listened most of the time. I didn't listen all the time, but I listened most of the time. And eventually my parents could threaten me enough to whereas I would do what they say eventually. Not my kids. Keep that up. I'm going to take your phone. Take it, Dad. You'll forget in a week. Okay. Clean up your room. Clean up your room or you're not going to be able to go anywhere. I wasn't planning on going anywhere this month anyway, so. Like, wait a minute. This didn't go. What? I feed them. I clothe them. I love them. And they don't listen to me. Here's the lesson that they taught me. You can't motivate anybody to do anything. When I worked at the jail, how did they train us to get grown men that didn't pay attention to the law on the outside? How do they get us to get them to lock down? Any ideas? Force. That's a good one. Was that? Turn out the lights. Who said it? Take their privileges. See, here's the thing. Inspiration is about how you feel about something. Inspiration is about your feelings. Motivation is about your vision. You can't motivate anybody to do anything. The best thing that you can do is show them the future that they want. Because those who lack motivation, they've just yet to see the potential of their future. So your job as a leader to boost morale and productivity is not to inspire their feelings. It's to show them their future. Show them what they want to see, the job that they want to have, the career path that they want to go on. Learn these things about them. And see, motivation helps them see why they should be positive and productive. That's the best that you can do. So your job is to help people see the future that they want every single day and how that aligns with what you do every single day. Does that make sense? When we get there at that point, then we can get to purpose. Everybody say purpose. This is the most, like I told you, it's going to be deep and metaphysical part of what I'm talking about. So I'm going to come down a little bit. This is deep. This is like really, really deep stuff, because your purpose in life can only be discovered through questions. Only. So we have to get really, really good at asking the people we lead the right questions that'll lead them to where they want to go. And I actually learned this in jail. I'm not going to say who the individual was, but he was behind bars. He's also no longer with us, had an incident. It wasn't me, but he had an incident and and he's no longer in that facility that I was in, but I'll never forget. He was the wise dude on the block, I should say. He was always trying to teach the young dudes how to do something, always trying to advise me. And I'm like, dude, you have on an orange jumpsuit. Like what information and advice do you have for me? But he asked me this question. He said, Bizzell, have you ever heard of a guy named Miles Monroe? I said, Miles Monroe. I said, well, he's a preacher. He said, you should look him up. He did this sermon called The 5 Greatest Questions in the World. And I said, really? Huh. So during my downtime, I looked it up. There was a sermon called The 5 Greatest Questions in the World. And it is, to this day, many, many years later, the greatest thing that I've ever heard. And I remixed it a little bit for you all. But when I say this is really, really, really deep, I want you to get this. The quality of morale depends on the quality of questions you ask your team. Because when you ask someone a question, you're signifying interest in them. As a leader, if I show you that I'm more interested in you, you'll feel better about the work you do for me. You'll feel better about the work that we do together. So getting really, really good at asking and answering questions, that's it. So I'm going to put 5 questions on the screen. I'm not going to go through all of them. I don't have the time. This is what I do in leadership trainings and retreats and different things like that. We go really, really deep into this. But as I put them up, I want to give you kind of a guide on how to answer these questions. This is good. The first question is, who am I? Everybody say, who am I? Who am I? This question, specifically in the times that we live in today, has become more and more difficult to answer. Back in my day, I love saying that. Ever since I turned 40, I say that. I feel like every single day, just to make sure that I know that I'm getting older. I can't play like I used to, can't do what I used to, got to reserve my energy. But back in my day, there weren't a lot of different identities that people could adopt. Nowadays, there are a lot of different identities. And so it brings about confusion. So I want to help center us on how to answer this question. Who am I is about identity. Your identity dictates your activity. So when you ask this question to yourself, you have to think about different stations of life. When I was 18, when I graduated from high school, I have different answers to this question, right? When I was 18, I wasn't a husband. I wasn't a father. I was just a student, a son, a brother. 25, I'm a husband. I'm a father. I'm an officer. So this changes your activity. So when you're asking yourself this question, think about that, but also the people you lead and work with. You have to help them identify who they are because their identity dictates their activity. The second question, where am I from? A lot of people think that this question means, where were you born? Where did you grow up? But I want you to answer this question a different way as it relates to helping us boost our morale and productivity and helping understand where everybody is coming from. When you ask the question, where am I from? I want you to think about who raised you and who raised them. Who raised you and who raised them. Because if you look at it that way, you'll understand really at a deep level who you are. My dad was in the military. My dad is super, super, super cautious, and he don't trust nobody. And he passed that on to me very well. So when I think about that, like my dad is very private growing up. I was able to go to this many people's houses to sleep over growing up. 2 people. 1 person was allowed to sleep over, and I'm still friends with that person to this day. Very private family. So when I think about that, and I think about growing, I think, okay, that's why, okay, when I get in settings like this, I kind of stay to myself, I charge up, then I go out into the, like, hey, how are you? I meet you. And some of you I met, like, hey, how are you? Great to meet you. Hello. Some of you came up to me like, hey, Odell. And I'm like, wow, how do you know who I am? Oh, yeah, there's my face. Like that, I have to do that every single day. And so you have to think about who raised you, who raised them. Third question, why am I here? And I asked that question when I came on stage. I said, why? Like, how did I get here? Not necessarily here, but how did I get here? And you have to know that the people you're working with, sometimes they ask that question. And when I speak at companies, I love to say this, and I hope you don't take it the wrong way. I hope we've talked long enough to that you like me a little bit? Where you work is not everybody's dream job. It's not. It's not. And that's okay. That's okay. But if they can answer the question, why am I here? And if you can help them, then you can find common ground to why they can make it a good job. So why am I here? Think about that. And then the fourth question, what am I capable of doing while I'm here? This question speaks to potential. I want to ask you, and I want a couple of people just to yell it out. What is the potential of a human being? What is the potential of a human being? It's unlimited. It's unlimited. You can do anything. Now, here's something that my grandma told me, and she's 94 now, so she probably knows some stuff. She said, you can do anything, just not all at the same time. So what are you capable of doing while you're here? And you define what here means. At your job, in your family, in your community, what are you capable of doing? Your potential is limitless, but there are two things that truly limit human potential: our minds and our time. What we believe we can do and how long we have. And as I've started to get older, I started to notice how the months go by really fast. Like the mortgage gets due fast now. It's like, geez, I just paid it again. Kids want to eat every day. It's ridiculous. Every day. It happens fast. And so we have to keep that in mind. And as we go into the last question, how will I be remembered by those I was assigned to? Raise your hands again if this is your first electricities conference. Raise your hands again. I'll give them some love. They're stepping out. Give them some love. Give them some love. Give them some love. If this is something that I say, I want you to take it. I want you to use it. I want you to remix it any way that you can. Go where you're celebrated, not where you're tolerated. Go where you're celebrated. So do a good job at celebrating people, especially those people that come here for the first time. Make them feel welcome so that they come back, so that they bring more people. But how will I be remembered by those I was assigned to? Before today, and I was talking to Roy about it, before today, public power and all that stuff. I had Duke Energy my whole life growing up. That's all I heard. My parents cussing and fussing about Duke Energy, especially in the wintertime. How dare they? There's a monopoly. Like all these words that I didn't understand back then. And then I get brought here to do this and I'm like, oh, well, look at all these other options. There's a lot of different things out here. So I didn't know you all before I came here. For this time and for the rest of our time together, I'm assigned to you. I may not ever see you all again. I hope that's not true, but may not. So while I'm here, I want to make sure that I'm giving you my all. While you're at the job you're at, make sure that they know that you're giving them your all. So that in turn, they will give you their all. Does that make sense? And when we start asking good questions, we start realizing that it's okay for us not to have all the answers. It's okay for them to give us some of the answers to help us shape how we lead them. And when you do that, they will feel better about the work that they do. Have you ever left a job because of a person before? Be honest. It's okay. Listen. Ever been micromanaged before when you didn't need it? Oh, it's the worst. I am grown. I got bills. I'm going to do my job. Like, leave me alone. Anyway, sorry. Still healing from that. But you want to be the type of leader that when you walk in the room, when you schedule the meeting, they're not looking at you like, oh, here we go again. Just got to feel important. You want to be the type of leader that when they schedule them, they're like, oh my gosh, John has something really cool to say. I want to see what he's going to say this time. And so the A in impact stands for action. Everybody say action. So we're going to do a quick exercise, but I want to frame it in this way. I've done close to 1,000 presentations all over the country. And every time I get to the end of a presentation, or I talk or walk through and People are like, okay, what do I do next? I want to make sure that I have something to do next. And so this is that point in the presentation where we talked about some things, but I want to make sure that you actually have a directive moving forward that's going to help you for the rest of this summit, but also as you move forward in other professional development opportunities and in the work that you do. And I'm going to put this quote up here, and I want you to take it, jot it down. You're the same person today that you'll be in 5 years, with the exception of two things: the books you read and the people you meet. I'm going to say that again because repetition is the mother of learning and the father of skill. You're the same person today that you'll be in 5 years, with the exception of two things: the books you read and the people you meet. So one of the actions that I encourage you to take today is make sure that you're reading something of value. Maybe it's a podcast, maybe you're a podcast audiobook listener, that you're taking in something of value every single day. You remember our parents used to say you need to eat your vegetables? Your mental vegetables. And it doesn't have to be long, it could be 5 minutes, it could be something. But there's something powerful about books. When I worked at the jail, I would always know the particular inmates that weren't going to give me any trouble. And those were the ones that always requested books. I always requested books. They were reading and we have engaging conversations. It was really, really cool. So cool, in fact, that I wrote my own book dedicated to my time working in the jail. It's called Behind Bars: What 5 Years Working in the Jail Taught Me About Excitement at Work. And it's all about boosting morale. It's all about boosting productivity. But this particular book is a story about different stories that I reflected on and went through when I was in the jail. And here's one thing that I want to convey to you as you're deciding on how you're going to read and how you're going to take in things. There's always something you can learn, and there's always something you can share. Sometimes we learn things so that we can share it. Sometimes we get things, information that makes us feel smart. But a lot of times, especially as leaders, we get information, we get things to make other people feel smart, to make other people feel seen. And so that's important. And I'll have a few copies of those books afterwards if you're interested, but I want you to keep reading things that matter and keep meeting people that elevate you. Right now, look around the room. Just do it. Just a quick glance. Look around the room. These people are going to help elevate you. If you, especially the first time people, probably don't know everybody in here. Maybe you know a few people, maybe you know where they work, but you don't know everybody. And networking boosts morale and helps other people achieve their dreams. You can meet somebody here that could connect with somebody that's not here. You know what I mean? And before we do our quick exercise, when I was in college, after I realized my dream of going to the NBA, just went down. Also, about that dream, by the way, I don't know if y'all can see me in the back. I'm not very tall. So I failed to mention that in the beginning. God saw fit to bless me to be a dominant force in rec league. When I was young, I played center. I'm not lying. I played center because I've been the same height since I was 14 years old. So I was a big kid, and then everybody just kept growing and growing and growing. And yes, but after that, I realized I wanted to be on ESPN. I wanted to talk about sports. That's his dream job. And I remember meeting Jay Harris at an event. He and I shared the same agent for a while, and I got to meet him. And he's incredible. We watch ESPN. He's been on there for a really, really long time. He's a really fun guy. I remember meeting him and thinking that he was going to Hollywood me. Do y'all know what that means? Like Hollywood, like, hey man, it's great to see you. Call me sometime, but never actually respond. He gave me his number. I reached out to him. We became friends. I said, Jay, it's really cool. During certain times of year, there's not much sports going on, man. Like, what about getting me on ESPN? Ha, 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 ha. He said, I'll get back to you. I thought he was Hollywooding me. Then he called me and he said, Odell, we're doing this special segment. There's not really much going on. There's no football. There's no basketball. There's just Come to Connecticut, give you a tour. I'll let you say a few words on screen. Thought he was Hollywooding me. I was like, there's no way he's going to allow me to do that. But he did. But he did. I got it. In July of 2024, I was on ESPN Sports Center. And it was just, again, networking. Networking. Thank you. Just networking. And I got to help with production. Like I got a lot of cool, I got the headset on. I'm like, all right, we're going live, and like a lot of cool things. But it's all because we were at a conference. I said, I'm going to shake this man's hand. I'm going to talk to him. So here's what I want us to do, but I want to do it in a fun way. So everybody stand up. It's going to take like 5 minutes. I know. I'm like, gosh, dude, I already didn't fall asleep. Like, you're going to want me to do more? Very simple. I don't want you to move too far. I want you to get to know somebody that you don't know, but I don't want you to do it in the general, boring way. I want you to ask 2 questions. How many questions? 2 simple questions. And Roy, would you mind? Could we illustrate in front of everybody? Y'all give Roy a round of applause. Simple. And I'm not going to shock you.
You already have.
These are the 2 questions. You simply ask, what is your favorite show to watch? And how did you get your name? Simple. All right. So, hey, great to meet you. Roy, strong name. How'd you get that name?
Hey, it's my dad's name.
Dad's name. Awesome. So you're junior.
No, middle name's different.
Okay. Awesome. What's your favorite show to watch?
I tell you what, so right now, of course, different shows, different times, but right now I'm getting a kick out of watching Landman.
Hey, we got any Landman? Gotta love it. Love it. Thanks you, Roy. Appreciate it. Y'all give Roy a round of applause again.
I don't get to ask you the same question.
Oh, you want to? Well, yeah, you can ask me. Yeah. And we're illustrating this. You're going to do this about 5 minutes.
So how'd you get your name?
How'd I get my name? So I'm named after my grandfather. He wasn't with us. He died when he was 45. Never met him. So Odell Bizzell II.
Yeah. Okay. So that's the second, not your dad, but your granddad.
Yes.
That's cool.
Yep.
That's cool. Yeah. Favorite show?
Whew. Do I need to keep it? Can I say what it really is, or do I say The Office? I'm sorry. Thank you. Office. Awesome. Thanks, Roy. Appreciate that. So somebody around you, I know a couple of you already did it. We're going to take a few real minutes to do that, and then we'll come back. So find somebody, ask them those 2 questions. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right. All right, everybody. All right. I know you got your besties now. Let's go ahead and return to our seats. Let's go ahead and return to our seats. Let's go ahead and return to our seats. Return to our seats. I'm really interested to see what shows y'all are watching. Y'all are like, hey man, hey. Where are my Office fans again? Office fan. Oh, we got two, a couple. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So, how many of you heard of a show that you've never heard of before talking to somebody? You heard of a show? You never talked, a few of you? I love doing that type of networking because you get to know a little bit about people that you probably wouldn't know. I remember I spoke at Iowa State University. The president of the school was there. We were sitting, and I did the same thing with her. And she said, Ted Lasso. And I was like, what? You watch Ted Lasso? Like, wow, that. So you get to know a little more about people. And so as we're kind of winding this down, the C in impact stands for courage. The C in impact stands for courage. How many of you have an arch nemesis or had one, maybe? She shot her hand up. She's like, I know exactly where she is right now. Absolutely. As long as they don't live with you. But anyway, I remember having a rival. I went to Smith High School in Greensboro, North Carolina. Our rival was Dudley High School. And Dudley was really, really perennially good. D1 athletes after D1 athletes, historically good school, all this stuff. And this is a picture of us actually playing Dudley. And a lot of times when you have like a big arch nemesis, there's some fear there. And I made varsity my freshman year. I wasn't scared of anything. I was like, I'm not scared. Like, who would think this is? And fear tanks morale and ruins productivity. So as leaders, we have to learn how to infuse courage in the people we lead. And my coach was really, really good at that. He gave us this epic speech. I'll never forget it. I'm not going to go deep into it, but he was saying all sorts of crazy things that didn't make sense, but got us excited. Like he said, they're coming in your house. They want to kick your feet off of the table. And they want to drink your Kool-Aid. And I'm like, what's happening right now? But I'm excited. And so we were ready to go out there. And even though we were overmatched, we were ready. And we have to learn. And the work that we do, we got to learn how to convey courage. Even when you're not sure what's happening, you have to learn how to convey courage. So we stormed out on the court, ready to play. We lost. We lost bad too. We lost by like 30 points. And yeah, it didn't feel good because we were all excited and yeah, we lost really, really bad. But the next year, my sophomore year, I was seasoned. I was ready. I had my team back. We lost again, but by fewer points. We played them 3 times that year. We lost twice. The last time, it was for the conference championship. The last time, we finally won. It felt so good. We won at the buzzer. And the papers, the News and Record was talking junk about us, how we were a small team and all this stuff. And I still remember this picture that they took. That's me right there, and that's one of my teammates. And I said, no pictures. I was like, no pictures. Like, keep walking. We're not talking to the press. I remember that. And here's what's interesting about that. Just because you're not scared doesn't mean that you won't be beat. Sometimes you can be prepared as much as you want. You're still going to get beat sometimes. But it prepares you for the next thing. And so we have to learn how to infuse courage into the people that we work with. And here are just a few ways you can do that as we move forward, as we're closing this out. Learn to do something new. For those of you that are here for the first time, this is something new. Embrace this. If you're kind of against a whole bunch of people in your personal space like I am, take a deep breath, go to your hotel room, recharge, drink something, then come back. Just take it in doses. When you go to different sessions, don't try to take everything in. Take one thing in. Join a new group. Have a deep conversation with people. And it doesn't have to be super deep, like, oh my gosh, I don't think they love me. Like, not that deep. It doesn't have to be like that. But it can be something deep like, hey, so how are you really enjoying work? Like, what makes it better for you? What makes it better for the people you work with? All of these things. And lastly, the T in impact stands for transformation. It stands for transformation. We're not just human beings. We're humans becoming. We're always becoming something different. We're always changing. And if all of life is managing change, then that means success in life is boosting morale while you transform. Learning how to feel better about what you're doing when things aren't always great. Taking one win from the day. And transforming, sometimes we have that little kid energy, you know what I mean? Where we don't know which way is up, but we're just excited about life. We get a little older. We go through that awkward phase. And I don't know what that shirt was, but hey, we were there. And then we get into a place where we're teenagers and we think we know everything. You've been there before. You think you know everything. You realize you know nothing. And then you graduate from college and you go into the real world and you realize that the real world does not care about you at all. Everybody's transforming the same way that I'm showing you. We've all gone through these seasons. We've gone through change. We've worked jobs where we didn't think that that job even existed. We've gotten married and we've gotten with people that we loved for a minute, and then we left those people, and then we went to more people. We created some people here and there. We're all going through change. All of life is managing change. So we have to get really good at these two things, you all. The first thing, we have to get really, really good at knowing what gets us excited. We have to get really good at that. Because like I tell my kids all the time, I tell them, it's good that you're up here. Like especially my oldest daughter, she is stubborn as a mule. But it's good because once you get out those doors, life is going to knock you down a little bit. Duties are going to come upon you. Things are going to happen. So you have to get really good at knowing what excites you and know that you create excitement. It doesn't just happen. You can't just wait for it to show up. You'll be waiting forever. You create excitement. And here's the last thing that you have to know and understand. People model better than they listen. You might say a bunch of things to the people that follow you, and they're like, okay, I got it, boss. Great. But more than that, they're looking at you. They're looking at how you show up. They're looking at your nonverbal cues. Are you happy to be here? Are you excited to be here? And if we can boost morale and productivity in places and spaces where there's change and there's inevitable things that will go awry and go wrong, then we can make a positive impact. I appreciate your time. I appreciate your attention. How many of y'all learned something from this? Y'all learned something? Awesome.